Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to get the Outmatched to Elite AI achievement. It was requested that I show you how to get this. So, this is win a 1 versus 2 multiplayer custom game with no allies against 2 elite AI opponents. Now, I was trying to get this achievement while giving live commentary and it just wasn't happening. So I had to do it, and now I'm going to do it without commentary, and now I'm going to show you post-game, post-achievement, what I did. So I've got this replay right here. It was on Shrines of Lazul. I think that's how you say that. And as you can see, I've got 2 elite AI that I'm going to be going up against. And as soon as I start this up, you'll see that they're both on the enemy team. So yeah, Team 1, Unrated, and then Team 2, both of those elite AI. So I tried and I tried and I tried to beat this, and it just was not working. And I was trying to do mech strategy basically, and just kind of like gather resources and get a strong base defense, and mostly just play defense instead of playing offense and doing any kind of early harass. I was avoiding that, and it wasn't working for me. Now I played with the Overmind, and he was able to do it with that kind of strategy. So if you want to go check out his style, go to his YouTube channel. That's the Overmind with the 0. But I just wasn't able to get that to work. He's definitely a much better player than I am using that strategy. So I mean, yeah, he was able to make it look pretty easy, but I just couldn't do it. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is just I built that first SCV, and we're going to throw down a supply depot. And then as soon as that supply depot is done, we saved up resources and got our barracks right away. And then the next thing that we're going to get is a refinery, I believe. Yep. And I might even throw down... Oh, nope, I didn't. Okay, so yeah, we threw down a refinery, and then we threw down a second barracks here. And then as soon as the second barracks was down, we threw down another refinery. Now, I'm going to put my command center in hotkey 1. Then I'm going to put one of the barracks in hotkey 3. I'm going to waypoint it to, as you can see on the minimap here, I'm going to waypoint it to this base up here. And then the hotkey 4 barracks, I'm going to waypoint to right down here by this base. So hotkey 3 is going right here, hotkey 4 is going right here. So my Reapers will mass up right outside each one of these bases. I'm going to keep on pumping them out, and we're going to do harassment of this supply line and then harassment of this supply line. And then we'll jump back and forth between this supply line and the expansion supply line on both of these bases. So from this supply line to the expansion supply line. Okay, so we threw down another supply depot, and now I'm getting reactors on both of those barracks, and I have now saturated both of the refineries, so they both have 3 SCVs getting gas. And we want both refineries going at the same time because, we got to get enough gas to build these Reapers, because each Reaper costs 50 minerals and 50 gas. Okay, and then we got our supply depots down soon enough so that we don't have to worry about any type of scouting inside our base, even though the enemy AI can definitely see what we're doing. But one other thing I want to point out here that's really important. I was trying to beat Elite AI with a random build order that they were choosing, so they could do macro game, early rush game, a timing attack, a mech attack, all different sorts of random strategies. So that was just too hard. If you have the choice, choose a strategy that you can work with. So what I did is I chose both of my opponents to play mech style, and when they're playing mech style, that forced them to choose more of a macro heavy start to the game. And because they have more of a macro heavy start and they're going to be mostly building mech units, it's going to take them a little bit longer to get that army going. So when I do this harassment, they're not going to have all that much right away to kill these Reapers, and that helps a lot. And that's why we can harass both bases at the same time, because we know both bases, or both of these opponents, are going to be using the same type of strategy against us. And then all I'm doing here is I do a little bit of damage, try to focus down one NSCV at a time, do what we can, and try to keep these Reapers alive as much as possible. And then make sure to use that, here, what's this ability called here? The KD8 charge. Got to make sure to use that ability, because, I mean, you're going to be able to bounce these SCVs around and make sure that they don't surround your Reapers. Same with if any Marines or Siege Tanks come at you, you should be able to kill them pretty effectively using that. Okay, and then I'm going to hop over to my other Reapers over here. Here, I'll get the player camera back up. And I shouldn't have attacked those Marines right there because I lost a couple of Reapers. But all the while, I'm constantly working on producing more Reapers. So in a second, yep, as you can see now, I'm just starting to pump out some more Reapers. And I just click between hotkey 3 and 4, and then that's about all I do. Now I have a ton of extra minerals, and you don't want to have all those extra floating minerals if you're not producing anything. So, and I don't have very much gas right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw down a bunch of barracks. I should probably build another command center. I think I will do that eventually. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all these extra barracks, I'm going to throw them into a hotkey, and with all these extra minerals I have, just to soak up the extra supply, I'm going to build a bunch of Marines, because Marines only cost minerals. And as long as we keep up this harass and we keep killing SCVs like this, they aren't going to be able to build a big army, because they're going to be focusing their minerals on building more SCVs. And yeah, that's just going to help slow them down. But we really you have to keep it very constant. You have to keep very constant harassment. If you don't keep up this constant harassment, they will take advantage of it, because they have an APM of like 300. It's really ridiculous how much APM they have. So if you give them a break, they will overwhelm you. And they decided to push with a couple Marines here, but really nothing scary at all. My Reapers will be able to kill this for sure. And then now I'm just throwing down a bunch of those KD8 charges, because I'm just trying to make sure these Hellions can't get too close to these Reapers. And the Hellions will kill these Reapers, so I'm going to make sure to move them back. Now I move those guys back, let them heal, because Reapers do auto-heal. And I'm going to go back to the other base and start harassing here. And then while I was doing this, I was starting to get more of a hang of the strategy for this. You know how I said bounce back between this supply line and the expansion supply line? I wasn't doing that very well in the beginning, but I start to realize that if you just keep bouncing back and forth between this supply line and the main base, that you can actually outsmart the AI, because they'll come down here, you come back up here, you harass these SCVs, and then you go back down to the expansion supply line and you harass those SCVs, and you can pretty much kill whatever you want as long as you just keep bouncing back and forth, because the AI doesn't, well, typically doesn't split up their units very well. However, when they get siege tanks out, that's when you have to be a little careful, because the siege tanks do sometimes actually sit in one spot and they won't follow you back and forth. If you can get enough harassment in before they get siege tanks out, though, that'd be great. Okay, and now once again, just trying to soak up more minerals, so I'm throwing down another command center, throwing down some engineering bays, and my Reapers got stuck there for a little bit, so I threw down some KD8 mines just to get the SCVs to get away from us. I lost too many Reapers there because I wasn't paying attention, but we did kill a good chunk of SCVs. And if you can, whenever they're building the expansion bases like that, try to kill the SCVs that are producing those, because, I mean, that just helps. Even though you may not be able to do enough damage to destroy the command center, you're delaying that command center from being built. You don't want them to get their expansions. If they do have expansions, harass the heck out of them, kill the SCVs, but do whatever you can to prevent those expansions from happening, because the expansions is what's going to allow them to outbuild you. If they can get more resources than you, they're easily going to be able to outbuild you and then destroy you. Okay, and then once again, going to focus down the SCV. Now I will try to kill this command center. However, I don't think I'm going to be able to get enough damage in, so I did a little bit of damage to it. Now I'm going to hop back up to the supply line again, and then this is that exact strategy I was talking about. Just bounce back and forth. Now they have siege tanks out there, got to be a little careful of that. I'm going to kill these SCVs off first, and then focus on this command center again. Try to kill it if we can. And I'm throwing down a couple KD8 charges just to try and get these Hellbats away from us. Did a little more damage to the command center. And then I lost those Reapers down there because I wasn't paying attention. The enemy pushed out to get the gold base. And now I'm back in the main base here of, what is this, cyan, is that the color? Of light blue or sky blue, whatever you want to call it. And just killing some more SCVs. Now I have a huge chunk of Reapers here. So I'm going to be able to do a ton of harass damage. I just have to squeeze in the right area. So I'm avoiding both of their armies. I do not want to engage that. And in the meantime, what I should be doing right now is producing siege tanks and marines to help fend off these enemy armies if they do come for us. But as long as we do enough harassment, they shouldn't push out because they're going to be too focused on keeping their base alive. Okay, so we're killing off a ton of these command centers right now, and we're going to try and just kill as many of these SCVs as we can before these the Hellbats and Marines get too close. And I'm not going to push back in. I'm going to go down and kill that gold base. Don't want to let that gold base get constructed, so we'll prevent that. And now I'm going to start expanding out to all these bases and really start getting a really strong income going. Okay, we killed that gold base, and eventually I will start getting some attack and armor upgrades for our Reapers as well from the engineering base. Okay, and look at this. Those SCVs tried to go in place to stop those Reapers. The AI actually does get pretty smart sometimes. They tried to block off the normal route of the Reapers so that we couldn't get through, and then their units would be able to kill our Reapers off. That was pretty scary. So if that happens, you just got to move around the other direction, and make sure you're paying attention to what your units are doing. And this time we had a really good chance to kill off the command center, so we let it die, or made sure it died, and then hop back into the main base again, and then now we're going to kill off these SCVs again. Not going to focus on well, we are going to get a little bit of damage off the command center, but the enemy units will make it up here too quick, I think. Just a second here. Yep, here comes the Marauders. Yeah, and I made a mistake here. I moved up, and they were smart. They blocked off our opportunity to go back down to the expansion line, but we, however, did get our Reapers back down to the gold base. Now I am focusing on getting all these SCVs down to all of these expansions now, and I'm starting to get some upgrades. And I'm going to turn all of these command centers into orbital command centers. I'm not too worried about a push right now, so I don't feel the need to make any planetary fortresses. And I'm going to take all of these SCVs and throw them onto the gold base, because if you have a gold base, you want to make sure you get that saturated first, just to get all that extra resource income. Okay, and what I should be doing, there's a lot of micro going on right now, so I'm not playing a game perfectly. If I was to play better right now, I should be making more Reapers. I should be using that Hockey 3 and Hockey 4 to constantly produce more Reapers, and then I should get more siege tanks out, and I should be getting more upgrades, and I should have all of my command centers properly, waypointed or rallied, that is, and everything. But my APM is not crazy good, so I'm doing the best I can, and it's still working. So granted, I only have around 100 APM. It's still able to beat 2 AI elite as long as you play the right strategy. Okay, so once again, killed off those SCVs. Try to do as much damage to a command center as we can, and that's the main thing you have to do. You just got to make the right hits and do the right damage in the right places and stuff like that. Okay, so now we're trying to kill this command center off. The enemy's going to come in here. I think I'm going to go out towards the left because they're coming in around the right. Now I'm going to throw off some KD8 mines to try and delay them so these Reapers don't die. And I do have Reaper production going again. And in the meantime, I hop back to our base here, throw down some refineries so we can get some more gas going. And now I'm actually pumping out Marines out of those barracks, and I had reactors thrown on those barracks as well. And I do have some tech labs getting formed on those factories over there back at our main base. So I will start building some siege tanks for defense, because both of our opponents do have kind of a scary army right now, and they may actually end up pushing out at us, so we do need to be prepared for this. I mean, they have Marauders, siege tanks, and fire bats. It's not that large size of an army, but I mean, all we have are Marines and Reapers right now, so we really do need siege tanks out to help assist us. Okay, and then I took too many SCVs off this gold base, so I'm moving a couple of them back, and as you can see, that third base that light blue had got destroyed by our Reapers, so that's very good. We prevented a third expansion for them. However, we lost a couple Reapers because we weren't paying attention again, and the enemy was able to siege up and get some of those Marauder hits on. And I'm constantly using orbital command scans, because I want to be able to see, where is the enemy army. As long as I can always see where the enemy army is with those scans, it's going to really help for you to know where to come in with your Reapers and start harassment. So that's why it really helps to get all those extra orbital command centers. And I think this time we should be able to prevent the enemy from actually, the enemy expansion here. We should be able to kill it off, because I keep on using those. I think our Reapers are going to take a bit of a hit here. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I went back to build some supply depots. But yeah, that's the thing. You have to be really fast about. You have to know when to go back and forth. But anyways, we're able to kill that command center because we're using the scans, and we get to know where the enemy army is at. Once again, we scanned down here, so we knew the enemy army was coming straight at us, and we went straight into the main base here. And we should, if I move my Reapers closer, kill off this Marauder, and we should be able to kill a bunch of these SCVs and do a lot of damage to this command center again. Now, they are going up on the north side of this little base here, so we aren't going to be able to hop down to the expansion, but we almost killed that command center, and we're preventing their armory production. And basically right now we're just trying to kill whatever we can. It's basically like if you're playing a Zerg and you're doing Mutalisk harassment, if you can't kill the main thing that you're going after, you just try to pretty much be an extreme annoyance and prevent whatever you can. Okay, now as you can see right now I have 2,800 minerals, 1,000 gas. Now would be a great time to build more factories and get a bunch more siege tanks up. So if you've got the APM for it, you should definitely do that. I'm just very focused on harassing these guys right now. Okay, we prevented Light Blue's expansion once again. So right now, Light Blue is getting very close to the point where they aren't going to be able to produce anything else. We're going to even kill their main base. And if this base goes down and they're not going to be able to get any other extra income, aside from building or this other command center that they have produced right here, basically their income is going to be extremely reduced, and they're not going to have any other option but to attack. So it's pretty much inevitable that we are going to get attacked very shortly here. So I need to get these siege tanks into siege mode. I need to get a bunch of my Marines down here. I probably should build like a wall of supply depots and some bunkers or something to help prevent this enemy wave. I should have thrown down like a ton of command centers. I have almost 4,000 minerals, so I'm floating right now. I should have thrown down a bunch of command centers in the big front of our base here. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Right here, I probably should have thrown down like maybe one command center here, and like one here, and made them all planetary fortresses, or maybe like right here, and right here. Yeah, because as you can see, this is coming right now straight at us. If I had planetary fortresses in place, could have had my siege tanks right behind that and a bunch of SCVs to repair that. No way this army could have even come in here and done any damage to us. Thankfully, I was able to get my SCVs over here and kind of distract this army. Instead of the fire going on our siege tanks, which a lot of it did, we were able to kill off the majority of this before it did too much damage. And I was able to get my Marines and Reapers right on top of these siege tanks and kill it. Now, the mistake I made was moving these Marines and siege tanks out. I should have kept them right here. I got really excited because I just killed Light Blue's army. And I thought, oh, this is my chance. I can kill off this entire base. I'm going to win this right now. I should not have moved this army out because right now I'm going to get intercepted by purple here. My siege tanks are completely vulnerable, and I'm going to lose a majority of this army here. And keep in mind, I still have a ton of resources, but I just made a really, really stupid choice on where to move my army. If I didn't do this, I wouldn't have run into a huge problem that's about to happen in the next 5 minutes. In the next 5, and I look at this. Oh man, I didn't even attack. I used the attack command with these Marines. They all died. I do have a lot of Reapers left, but I lost a ton of units here and really shouldn't have. But yeah, if I played better, I wouldn't have run into this really, really bad problem I'm about to run into coming up here. So what's going to happen is purple's going to be fed up with me doing this harassment and basically going to be in the same situation Light Blue is in. Can't get any more resource income and is going to be struggling. So purple's going to be left with no other option basically than to attack us, and that's exactly what purple's going to do. Purple is still trying to expand a lot, but is helping defend Light Blue right now, so we got to be careful of that. And it's starting to split up their army, and I'm starting to lose more Reapers because I'm not paying attention again. So I've got to be a little careful here. I see this gold base, so I'm going to try and prevent that. We should be able to kill this, and I believe we already have, we have level 2 attacks on our Reapers and level 1 armor on our Reapers currently. We're currently getting level 3 attacks and level 2 armor, though. Okay, so we're able to completely kill off that gold base. Production is going to be pretty reduced for purple, and purple realizes that we have definitely stopped its income, and then this is where I got in big trouble. As you can see, all I have left defending is 2 siege tanks. I have nothing left here. I'm still trying to harass, trying to get purple to come back here, but purple is fed up. The AI is fed up with what we've done. It sends some of its troops back, But no, these siege tanks, Thors, and Marauders and Hellbats, that's enough to really do some serious damage to us. So we're in some big trouble right now. What I do try to do is build some siege tanks, but I didn't rally them correctly, so they instantly die. I've got a bunch of barracks here I'm not producing any Marines out of. So what I just say, the heck with that base, I'm going to start throwing down some barracks here and start throwing down some factories. So if a situation like this happens, don't give up necessarily, because if you've done a lot of harassment like we've been doing in this video, you're pretty much going to know that purple's not going to have a very good income. So if you can stop this army, purple's probably not going to be able to replenish this army. So we have a ton of resources. That's what we know. We know that we are floating a huge amount of resources. So as long as we can stay alive, we can outproduce purple right now. That's what you have to keep in mind. If you have a bunch of resources like this, don't give up. A lot of people, I think, would give up at this point because they would think, oh, well, I lost my base, I lost my production. But no, it's not over. If you give up, you will lose for sure. You have no chance of winning if you give up. But don't necessarily do that. Okay, so what I do know is I have a bunch of Reapers. Reapers are very mobile. They heal themselves, and I can still do harassment with them. And if I move them right, I should be able to take out a siege tank here or there. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got my siege tanks completely repaired. I'm trying to throw down as much production as I can, and I'm going to try to keep these siege tanks alive as well as I can. However, these guys are pushing straight on my siege tanks. I'm going to lose these guys. I kill some of their units, but I'm not going to get really any production out here. But what I do have now is I've got these factories. And in a last hope of victory, I say the heck with my Reapers dying to this. I'm not going to let them die. I'm going to go kill the production of purple here. So I'm going to kill off these Marines, and then I'm going to focus down the barracks and the factories so purple will, or factories that is, so purple will literally not be able to reproduce. And I'm going to build Widow Mines. It was my last hope. I figured the only orbital command here, actually, let's just go to purple right now. Yeah, as you can see, the only orbital command purple has is right here. So purple's not going to be able to scan these Widow Mines that I'm producing. And that's our last hope. Last hope is Widow Mines because there's not going to be detection. Purple has no Ravens. Purple has no scans as soon as we can kill this orbital command center. With keeping that in mind, that should be able to stop purple's army. But I am looking in a very, very bad situation right now. I've got Reapers and nothing else. Okay, and I'm trying to kill these SCVs just so they, you know, they can't keep producing. But it's not being it's not looking very good right now. Okay, we killed the last orbital command center. This is where it gets good. Even though I made a bunch of big mistakes, there's absolutely no detection. These Widow Mines can't die. Now I'm rallying all of my Widow Mines back here. I don't want them to take siege tank fire, and I'm just spreading my Widow Mines out. I'm burrowing what I can and trying to spread them out. Okay, purple has no command center left, so now purple is being revealed to me. I can see what purple has left. I'm very confident purple will not be able to reproduce. Light blue is the only thing that can reproduce right now. So right now, what I'm feeling right now is I think we can actually do this. And it's crazy. It's crazy, right? Because they had this huge army, and these Widow Mines are actually killing this off. I just couldn't believe it. So I'm trying to use my SCVs right now to bait them into all of these Widow Mine fire. And we've got these siege tanks here, but yeah, Widow Mines are going to kill these guys off too. And in just a second, these Widow Mines will be able to finish off this guy. He's going to try to get away, I think. But, oh, no, that siege tank does get away. We should be able to get this Marauder, though. Yep. Okay. So, now what do I have? I only have 3 Reapers. Oh, shoot. I missed that part. Okay, so I made a really dumb engagement. I think I had, like, I don't know, like 15 Reapers left. And there was a Thor right here. Here, if we look. Yeah, here's the Thor. So, I engaged this Thor with my 15 Reapers. And don't ever engage Thors with Reapers. Even if you have, like, 20 of them, you will lose. Reapers cannot withstand the might of a Thor. Thors are way too good. And then, surprisingly, Light Blue actually had some units out again, but I took advantage of this cliff, and for some reason, Light Blue was making really dumb choices and just kept on moving towards this cliff. So I was able to just, you know, kind of micro back and forth and just kill these guys off. You just really got to keep in mind that when you're playing against an AI, it's just a computer, right? So the computer can be smart to a point, but you can outsmart the computer. You got to take advantage of that if you're trying to get this achievement. Okay, so now we took advantage of killing all these units. I'm just going to keep on trying to... I got to keep these Reapers alive. See, that guy almost died, but I'm just trying to do whatever I can to destroy these barracks. Oh, there's a Marauder now. I've got to move these Reapers back. Hopefully I do quick here. Okay, yep, I'm moving them back. I got a ton of Widow Mines now. Got a really, really good production there. I lost a bunch of my factories, but I do have 2 left here. And I've got 3 orbital command centers left. I'm going to get all of these guys landed and start producing SCVs out of it. I'm going to produce supply depots again. I put down some, or burrowed some of my Widow Mines here. I'm going to burrow these guys so I can kill all of their SCVs. I don't want them to have any type of income anymore. Got to kill that off. And now they try to come up here and kill these Reapers that I have, but once again we killed off the Marines and Marauder, or a couple Marauders and Marines that came after us. And then as you can see, Light Blue surrendered. We defeated this guy. Now, Purple can still get resources off of Light Blue's production though, so I am going to finish off the remainder of what Light Blue has. And I know that, because I just scanned right here, this is all that Purple has left. A Thor and a Siege Tank. But I am still a little afraid that these Widow Mines and Reapers aren't really going to be able to effectively kill that off. So what I'm doing right now is, just to be completely safe, I really could have won this probably right now if I unburrowed these Widow Mines and just went straight for Purple's last 2 units. But I just want to be extremely safe, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build up my base a little bit more, get out some Cyclones, and then make one final push. So I'm going to speed up the game just for a little bit because, yeah, as you can see, this is just a little bit of rebuilding work right now. I'm throwing down some factories, pumping out a bunch of SCVs from all of these guys. I will eventually land this guy. I know that for sure. Yeah, here we go. So I'll land that down. I'll probably start dropping some mules, get some extra mineral income. And yeah, it's just a whole lot of reproduction right now. Trying to rebuild what we lost. Killing off the last barracks so Purple can't produce any more units out of there. And just trying to clean up the rest of this. I just really wanted to make sure because I had lost so many times. Think about it. If you lost like 15 times in a row, I don't know if it was that many or if it was that little amount. But either way, I lost a lot, and I wasn't going to let it happen this time. And even still, I have a ton of units here, so I was trying to use just one Cyclone to bait these guys into the Widow Mines, but pretty much at this point I knew I was going to win, but just for fun I wanted to bait these guys, but they weren't moving. I don't know if Purple was glitched or what, or if Purple just knew that this was the smartest location for the AI to be in. So Purple stayed in the same spot. But I do burrow these Widow Mines. That Siege Tank is going to die. This Thor will die to the Widow Mines and the rest of our stuff as well. And just for fun, I bait the Thor into this last Widow Mine here. And it's dead. And then that's it. Now we can go ahead and clean up the rest of the base. And there it is. Yes! I was so excited. So excited when I did this. It was way harder than I thought it was going to be. I was really surprised. So I hope this strategy was helpful for you guys. I definitely know for a fact that if I did not move my units out from this force that I had right here with these Siege Tanks and Marines, I would not have struggled as much as I did in the end of the game. I would have been able to clean this up probably like 8 minutes sooner, or maybe even 10 minutes sooner in StarCraft time, if I had not moved my forces out early to go ahead and kill Light Blue's base. So yeah, just make sure you get some Siege Tanks and Marines to defend yourself. Make the elite armies Terran. If you want to use my exact strategy, I made them both Terran, and I made them both use the mech style, mech strategy, build order. So use that exact strategy and do the Reaper harass like I showed you in the early stages of the game, and you should be able to get this achievement. So yeah, very, very hard achievement for me to get because I'm not that great at multiplayer, but I definitely felt like this was extremely good practice and it helped me get a lot better at multiplayer. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more walkthroughs like this. Leave a like if you liked the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.